Is there a hold on your account? A barrier preventing you from gaining access to physical, mental, and spiritual wealth? Well, then, right now, plug into the Power Narrative, Chapter 15, Release the Hold. I am your host, B. Green, aka Belief Narrative, empowering you through awareness, inspiration, and motivation through the power of story. If you enjoy your time here in the Power Plant, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit that notification bell. As a kid, I remember going to the circus with my school, and what I saw made me really sad. I played it off seeming as excited as everyone else was to see these exotic animals that I had never seen before, but in truth, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I saw an elephant. It was at least a good 5,000 pounds, and it was restrained, waiting to perform. How he was restrained was the saddest thing of all. On one of its hind legs, it had a small rope tied around it, and the end of that rope was tied to a small stake that was stuck into the ground. Seeing this made me remember a lesson that my dad had taught in church about this very thing, but I had never seen it for myself. I mean, at first glance, it didn't appear to be inhumane, but again, that's just the appearance. Now, at any moment, if that elephant had decided to, it had the ability to free itself. What happened to this beautiful, magnificent, powerful animal that made it think that it couldn't? I remember having this conversation with my dad, and he explained to me how anything born in captivity once had heavy metal chains restraining it. But after a while, the chains were no longer necessary because all they had to do is create the appearance that you don't have the strength to break free. And the conditioning is so strong that it's now ingrained. What's holding you back? What has you restrained? You're here and you want to be over there. What's stopping you? What's holding you back? Is the obstacle in front of you, behind you, or both? What is preventing you from being where you need to be? I remember clearly the day that I realized that I had stopped dreaming. Several years had gone by because I believed that as an adult, I had to snap into the reality that dreams are for fools. I mean, MLK got killed because of dreaming. I remember the day I put my dreams in a box because I had made some bad decisions, and now I had a responsibility that my dreams could not finance, or so I thought. Years went by with me holding on to this pseudo-adult reality that had me investing time into living up to this idea of what I thought adulthood meant. And the longer I held on, the darker and darker things got. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more dismal, I saw this little flicker of light. It was way far off in the distance, but it was just that little glimmer of hope. But it was all I needed. It made me think, is it even possible that the life that you desire is attainable? And that glimmer of hope led me to a door. It was a door that I had closed years ago. And I knew behind that door was that box. And once I went through that door and opened that box, I would start to dream again. Then I thought to myself, self, remember how disappointed you were the last time you tried to dream? But then I remembered the hold on my account was due to decisions that I made. And it was those decisions that took me in a different direction than what I needed to go, because I went after what I thought I wanted. But when I got there, just like the circus, I realized it wasn't what I thought it would be. And I'm in this space and I look behind me and I thought, what good am I to myself or to those I'm responsible for if I stay repeating the same cycles? Now, I could attempt to blame everything and everyone, but when I took the time out to reflect, the only person that I could hold responsible for my decisions was me. I was the reason why I was in the shape that I was in. These were the things that I allowed, and the power that I gave away was just that. Not everyone has the right to gain access to that power, and people were way too familiar with the version of me that I allowed them to believe was real. This is what had to change. I didn't want revenge for the things that I allowed people to do to me, because that would require me to validate their power and continue to give them access to the power that I gave them. If I had went that route, the cycle would have just continued. To move forward, I needed all of my energy. I don't have any room to have any holds on my account. I needed all my energy to bring my dreams, my vision into fruition. And that was the problem the first time. I gave access where there needed to be none. There's a very powerful principle, and that is a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Think of this principle in terms of energy. The max capacity is 100%. There's no more than that. And in order to power your dream, your goal, your vision, it takes a certain amount of energy or it won't work properly. It will have intermittent functionality, just like a weak, undependable Wi-Fi signal. And then you draw the wrong conclusion. My dream must not be attainable. What I believed must not have been true. You can give up on the very thing that you need, not because it wasn't true, not because it didn't work, not because it wasn't attainable, but because you didn't apply enough consistent energy into your project, into making belief reality. You need to start handing out permanent disconnect notices to any entity that powers the opposition to your destiny. The doubts, the fears, the apprehensions, the distractions, other commitments that you are tied to also require a certain amount of energy to work. The saying is quite true. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Remember, the capacity of your energy is 100%, and the areas of your life that are in opposition with each other can only draw power from the one source, and that's within you. The things that you need to reach your goals, they're attainable. They're within your power to achieve. But you have to be willing to do your part. And once you do that, stand back and watch what the Most High will do for you. There's a story in the scriptures of a man named Lazarus who was very sick. He was close friends with the great teacher, the great healer, but he was many miles away. His family and his friends sent word to the great healer. But Jesus remained where he was for 2 more days, finishing up what he had at hand. And then the word came that his friend had died. After receiving this news, He then made his way to where he was. His friend had now been in the grave for 4 days. When Lazarus' sister saw Jesus, she said, "If only you had been here, my brother would not have died." She believed in his all-healing ability. And he asked her, "Where is Lazarus buried?" She took him there along with others. Lazarus was buried in a cave, and at the mouth of the entrance of that cave, it was sealed with a stone. And Jesus told them, "Remove the stone." And his sister basically said, "What's the point? He's been buried now for 4 days. His body probably already stinks." And he basically told them, "All I'm asking you to do is to remove the barrier that you placed between the situation that you think is hopeless and watch what it is that I can do." Removing the stone was something within their power to do. Once they removed that barrier, he was able to remove the hold that the grave had on Lazarus's account. There was another story where the great teacher was out doing what seemed to be impossible. He was out walking on water. And when Peter saw it, he got excited and he asked, "If it's you," because he had never seen anything like this before, "let me come to you." And he told him, "Come on." All Peter asked to do was walk. He knew how to walk. Lazarus's sister and those around him knew how to remove the stone. They put it there. And Peter was able to do what seemed impossible as long as he kept his focus on his destination. When his energy was at 100%, he was able. But Peter broke the connection when his focus stopped his flow of energy from going towards his destination to going somewhere else. He began to doubt, and the hold of doubt caused him to sink. What things do we allow ourselves to get wrapped up in that put a hold on our account, preventing us from applying all of our energy towards the growth in our journey? There is a disconnect between the people and their power. We need to reconnect and stay connected. I am able to do and go far beyond any standard that man has placed upon me. I just have to be a willing instrument. Without a doubt, knowing my true identity as one of his children. Once you know who you are, not who they say you are, not who they say you're not, then you'll know you have access to power unparalleled. The challenge question is, are you going to release the hold on your account? Are you going to free yourself from the obstacles that you used to convince yourself that were stronger than your ability? How long are you going to look at the outlet, knowing you have access without plugging in? Thank you for your time. Be Green, reminding you that your story is being written every day. Take the pen.